Hotep. Hotep is a greeting that means peace in the ancient Kemetic language, and Mwalimu means teacher in Kiswahili and is the equivalent to the English word professor. My name is Mwalimu Melody Michere Van Putten, and this is Mwalimu Dropping the Knowledge. Good people, this is the second part of a double episode, State of Our Affairs. To briefly review, while it is important to highlight our heritage, our connections, and various lessons, it is equally important to assess where we are now as a global people. It is especially critical to examine what are the impediments to our progress. After all, we have been global survivors and overcomers for the last 400 years of unprecedented inhumanity. What is still holding us back from thriving and retaking our place on the world stage of history, culture, and policymaking? Again, to answer that question, I revisited various historical and contemporary scholars whose work has powerfully influenced mine. They include Drs. Asa G. Hilliard III, W.E.B. Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, Ivan Van Sertima, Martin Luther King, Cariama Welsh, Hakeem Mahabudi, Anthony Browder, and others. So let me begin. The challenge to our wholeness as a people has historical roots that continues to have devastating consequences today. If you are watching this program, you know the historical roots. The brutal kidnapping of our people, dragged across the ocean for a lifetime of horrific enslavement. It is the one story that is told and retold as knowledge concerning our people. It is too often told as a pitiful victim story, and our people are beyond tired of hearing it, with good reason. Don't get it twisted. I am not suggesting that we omit this part of our history. However, the effects of this particular slice of our long history has been purposefully contextualized to seriously handicap us as a people, cut us off from our own truth. Let me quote Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who brilliantly stated the dilemma in historical context in his book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? He wrote, and I quote, "The tragedy of slavery and segregation is that they instilled in the Negro a disastrous sense of his own wholeness or worthlessness. To overcome this terrible feeling of being less than human, the Negro must assert for all to hear and see a majestic sense of his worth. This sense of somebodyness means the refusal to be ashamed of being Black. Our children must be taught to stand tall with their heads proudly lifted," end quote. So how do we do that? How do we embrace and teach a majestic sense of worth, not only to our children, but to ourselves? The only way we can shift the lens of what we see of ourselves is to learn the truth of who we really are. Let me answer that question poetically. Read. Excellence is achieved when we are determined to learn. Reading and writing are still revolutionary acts. Self-knowledge is indeed self-empowerment. We must not simply know of Du Bois, Douglass, Woodson, Packwood, Camarasa-Fago, Martin, Malcolm, Karenga, and others. We must intimately know our responsibility as a people with access to education, resources, skills, and talents. We must understand the role of Woodson's miseducation and Garvey's call for a unified community, self-reliant and self-determining. It is time to re-implement the village concept for our young people, beginning with Ubuntu, seeing ourselves in each other and acting accordingly, modeling the principles of Kwanzaa, a cultural gift from Malana Karanga. The keys to Malcolm, Martin, and Paulu are found in their writings, speeches, the musings of their lives, keys to our liberation. And Malcolm read everything he could get his hands on. The whole world opened to me when I learned to read, Mary McLeod Bethune proclaimed. We must read to gain critical self-knowledge necessary for self-empowerment. It is not a passive process. The ancestors require our active participation. We shall not move without you. We shall not grow without you. Read for yourself, your children, your grandchildren, and all those yet to come. Read for your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and our ancestors who were denied the opportunity. Read, because the continuation of our race depends on every African descendant, man, woman, and child, picking up a book every day, soaking in self-knowledge to inspire, motivate, teach, provide example, analysis, delineation, and solution. It's a revolutionary act, a defiant stance, a Kuji-Chakalia position. We must read. We'll be right back.